Hi, my name is Vishal and I'm a senior trainer in multimedia education. I have 18 years of industry experience and let's get started with the video. Hello guys, welcome back. This is a substance designer shape splatter tutorial and I would like to share the details of this node. So to start with, I would like to go to the patterns in the generators section and then search for this node called shape splatter. Okay, so we have this shape splatter which can actually randomize different inputs onto a specific background. So let us try to understand it in a more detailed way. So right now we have this base material which is okay, let me take a new one. It's a base material, and then I will just make sure that the metallic value is 0 and enable the height and ambient occlusion. Connect this height to the height and to ambient occlusion, but before that we will take the ambient occlusion node HBAO and then connect this. Okay, so let's see what we get here. So I have got this map. This is a simple bitmap image. It's giving me a height map which is having some rough terrain. It's the white area is the peak area and the rest of them is the ground. So this map I'm going to use into the shape splatter, and where do I use? I'll be using on the background height. So just connect that to the background height and then view this in the 3D view. Okay, so you have this rough terrain there. So let me go to the material and then check the tessellation. In tessellation and height we have the tessellation factor where I'm going to add some polygons here. If not, it looks a low poly, so let's add some subdivisions there. So this surface will be getting that height. Okay, and then we have this ambient occlusion. Okay, this ambient occlusion is going to give me that nice cavity shading and then that nice surface. Okay, so if I select the base material, we have the height section. We can crank up the position and the range if needed. So I'll just set it to the default and leave it like this. Now if you could able to see, this is some surface relief which I've achieved here. Okay, so let's take some shapes here. So I'm going to take a paraboloid shape. I'm going to take a polygon which is going to give me a triangle, and then let's take some waves. So you have 3 different inputs. So if you select the shape splatter node, we have pattern 1, and if I select the shape splatter, we have pattern number input which can go all the way till 8. So you can connect 8 different types of objects into it. So I'm going to keep it to 3, and then I'm going to connect this sphere, this paraboloid, to pattern 1, and then you should able to see that has been scattered over, and I'll just connect this triangle to the pattern 2 and wave to pattern 3, So you get all that scattered over this model without any gap. So let me select this and then explore this amount, the shape splatter. So we have 16 by 16. I can reduce that number, and then you should able to see the objects are now reduced to 7 and 6. Okay, so you can click there and then reset it to the default. So that is 16 by 16 rows and columns. And you saw pattern input number, which is basically the number 3 patterns which we have. Now we have pattern index, which can give me rows and columns sort of thing. Now here I got a diagonal arrangement of the triangle, wave, paraboloid, triangle, wave, paraboloid. Whereas when I say line index, it gives me in the straight lines. When I go for the column index, it goes into the opposite direction. It takes that way. So when I say random, it generally takes the randomized number there. Okay, so we have pattern distribution number, and I will double click and then keep this alive, and then I just make sure to go to the height and then switch this off for better visibility. Then you should able to see clear displacement happening there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this paraboloid shape and then connect this shape to the pattern distribution. Okay, now I'm going to increase this pattern distribution multiplier, and then you should able to see that based on the color value, you in the center I've got waves where the value is higher, and then where there is the value is gradient, there I could see triangles, and outside that I'm able to see the paraboloid shape. So that's basically about this pattern distribution multiplier. We have pattern rotation, which makes the objects rotate at 90 degrees, 180 and 270. So that 0 is the default value. Now pattern rotation random, what it does is it rotates all this into random orientation. So all triangles are facing different sides, so anytime you can reset that. Okay, we have height option, sorry, size option. Size is right now 1, so I can reduce the size and this all shapes will become smaller. You could able to see that. Okay, we have a scale randomness, which makes the size of all objects randomized. So one object becomes big and another object becomes smaller with a big range. So we have this option called scale no overlap. So what that actually do is when we increase the scale value, all the sizes become bigger. Okay, you should able to see that. So they became all the way big and they are overlapping from one other, so you get that overlapped shapes. In that case, you can increase the no overlap value, where you get the objects scaled so that it will not overlap each other. So I'll set that reset. So if anytime scale is bigger, you increase the no overlap value, then the scale will automatically come down so that there is no overlap there. We have a scale map multiplier, which you could see shape scale option there. So I'm going to select this node and connect it to shape scale, and then here we use the shape scale multiplier, and what it does is it will make the object scale as the value of this map input. So center is the higher value and gradually it's going lesser here as per this. So that's the shape multiplier. We can non-proportionally scale individual shapes here. Like here I'm making it thin and height, whereas I can go for the Y scale and make it more short and wide. Okay, so non-proportional scaling of your inputs, the patterns can be done. So we have size ratio from BG shape, so I'm going to increase that value, and then you should able to see the size of these objects are affected based on the height. Let me just go back to height and then enable this, and you should able to see the size multiplier is affecting the shapes which are there only on the highest points. You should able to see that. So it's affecting only in this area, it's not touching the outside area. I don't say it's not at all touching, but it's actually affecting based on the gray value, and the higher the value, the more you can see that impact. Okay, and it is because this is connected to the BG, and then we can generally keep this value 1 to preserve the aspect ratio of the input. And we have positions, we have position randomness, where we can make the objects randomly placed on the surface. Okay, and position randomness distribution is one is uniform and another one is Gaussian. It is the interpolation type. Then we have vector map multiplier. When we increase this, you again see the same thing. The effect is more seen on the lesser height surfaces. You can see it's not affecting on the height area. So this effect is only based on the slope of the surface. Okay, then we have offset or horizontal, which can actually offset it on left to right and right to left. Generally when we are offsetting or moving the position, sometimes shortfall of some shape can happen. What you need to do, you want to scale it or you want to adjust the position, is what the out of bounds option is. And then we have rotation. We can rotate it randomly, so all objects will be rotated. You can see that in the pattern also, that is basically on a global multiplier side, but you have an individual rotation value here. So if you don't want to randomize the rotation, you can specifically say I want to rotate some value for that particular object. Generally, as you could see, the rotation was not showing effect earlier. Sometimes this refresh problem is happening. Now I should able to see that rotation because it's showing the render and all that at the same time. So rotation from BG slope, again it will show the impact more on the less height surfaces. So it's generally respecting the slopes. That's what this is about. A rotation map multiplier, it is the same thing, like you can connect it to the shape rotation. Okay, and then when we increase this rotation map multiplier, you have this objects rotating only in the highest value, which means in the center. Okay, and whatever the value you give, that will be shown there. Okay, so it affects only in the area where this map is basically influencing. So we have vector map multiplier. What is that actually means is, I'm going to take this input here. Anytime you see vector, which is here, I could generally bring a map. It's a simple render pass where you do it for motion blurs in compositing. So vector pass is basically it's telling the object's movement using this. So I brought this vector pass. I can connect it to the vector map input here. Okay, I will go to the height again and switch off this so that you could able to see it clearly. And then when I increase the vector map multiplier, you should able to see the impact happening only in the area where this surface is bulged. Okay, you can check that here, vector map multiplier in the position. You should able to see that's affecting only in the it looks more circular. You should able to see when I'm sliding it, the effect is only seen in that area where this object is here. Okay, so you're able to control where this impact should happen with the vector map input. Okay, so we have a lot of options in height. So we have height offset, which reduces the height of the surface. Okay, let me increase this height. So you should able to see that that's increasing the height there. Okay, so when you have to scatter some objects on the surface, especially some stones, twigs, leaves, or anything like that, you can use this shape splatter, and you have a greater level of control on this. You have height offset randomness, which makes some of the objects go inside the surface and some of them pop up. Okay, so increasing the height of this and randomizing the height of this scattered objects can be controlled here. Height offset map multiplier, again you have height offset option here, which you can generally connect it there, and then when you increase the height offset, it should show the impact only on the central objects, and slightly the fall off will happen. Let me see with this size and then come back. Okay, you should able to see that size. Height offset multiplier, it's showing the effect only where the things are white, and you should see that's bulging up. Okay, because I've just applied a map and making it work. Then we have height scale. It's a multiplier for the overall heights, what we are generally getting here. Okay, then we have height scale random. And height scale multiplier, you can connect the same texture, and then we can increase the height scale where the effect can be seen where this paraboloid is generally. Okay, so we have confirm background. What that actually means is I will take a sphere to have a closer look. Here I've got this bitmap which I have brought here. So instead I would like to take some surface which is going to be some clouds texture. I'll delete this ambient occlusion. My PC is getting stuck. I'll take a normal input and in the base material let's bring up the normal and connect it there. I'll just clean up several things which are okay. You should be able to see some roughness here. Okay, so let me select the shape and then we have this confirm to background. So when I increase this value, what generally happens is this noise which I've got okay, it's generally blending up with the texture what we have taken. Okay, when we increase that, you see there's a blend with the texture. Okay, and then when we smooth this, the noise which has been part of this shapes has become you should able to see this area. This part is more noisy right now. So when I increase the smooth, that part of that becomes smooth. So it's like a wall, a stucco wall, and you have pasted a poster there, and then that poster will not get as rough wall texture it has. so it generally becomes more soft. So this is a very nice way to soften up the details with the background. So skew from BG slope, we have seen that BG slope here, right? So so skewing generally makes that shape more distorted to compensate with the slope of the surface. So you have that thing here. And then we have masking options. You can control where this texture should be masked. So if you could see, we have masking options. Masking randomness will generally mask all these inputs. They make them disappear in simple words. So certain objects will not be there because you have masked them. Okay, you see all that objects disappeared randomly. So we have a mask random multiplier also, where you can connect the input there into the slope. You should able to see that. My PC is struggling real. So you should able to see mask random. I can connect a black and white image, and it will control the objects. I mean, you can hide the objects in that area or randomize the objects. So mask from BG slope, again it will mask the objects based on the slope. It's the same thing like what we have seen in the other options. So the slope areas will get a different amount of transparency comparatively to what the objects at the height are. So you can just explore that options. They are very simple. And to conclude, the shape splatter is to scatter objects on a surface. You don't keep yourself limited to one idea. You can use it on fruits. Maybe you want to create pineapple or custard apples or strawberries. You want to create something like that. You can create a pattern and then put it scatter it over on the model. So explore the possibilities. It's quite simple, and then apply it. So we have different variants in the shape splatter. You can see that below. So we'll explore that in different videos, but this is shape splatter altogether. So it was quite interesting node, and there's a lot we can play with. Again, make sure that your GPU is real supporting the render with the displacement what's happening here. Thank you.